AskReddit by deleted. Americans of Reddit, what is something the rest of the world needs to hear? Deleted. OMG, I felt like ice was a precious commodity in Italy. Had to drink warm Coke because they only put 1 cube of ice. As a Canadian who has visited the States a fair bit, I'd say that, sure, the stereotypes exist, but they are the vast minority. The true majority of Americans are really very kind, down-to-earth, intelligent people. Animals in Yellowstone will kill you. Edit. Thank you everyone for the gifts. Also, stay on the damned paths. I'm tired of hearing about tourists falling in the pools and dissolving. We hate the size of that gap space in our bathroom door stalls too. Solo cups come in a variety of colors. I thought we agreed on red. Water should always be free at restaurants. I remember when I was in Prague, we were out at a restaurant for dinner and a 0.5L beer was cheaper than a 0.5L water. No, in the South, we do not all have alligators in our backyards. If someone tells you otherwise, they are lying. There are no alligators in Ba Sing Sen. That sounds a lot like something an alligator would say. You can ski and surf on the same day in California. Edit. Just to clarify, the weather in the mountains could go as low as 30° F, -1°C, but the weather at our SoCal beaches could be as high as 65° F, 18°C, in the winter. P.S. Thank you for all the upvotes. Surf in the morning, ski after lunch, and then camp in the desert if you're really dedicated. Our state governments hold more power over our daily lives than the federal government. The laws can vary pretty significantly across state lines aside from commonalities like no murder, robbery, reckless driving, etc., and even those sometimes can be punished very differently from state to state. It's almost like 50 similar-minded neighboring nations, and a couple territories, under one union. Like a group of United States. I'm American who immigrated when I was a toddler, but consistently traveled back and forth to my native land. I notice Americans, from what I've seen, take racism incredibly seriously, to the point I can say racism is worse outside of America. Racism in Asia and Europe is on a different level, one that is way worse than in the US. Probably due to America's deep historical and existential struggle with the topic. Deleted. Yup, it always confuses people when I tell them that where I grew up we had to drive south to get to Canada. Still, water and public bathrooms should be free around the world. The US doesn't do a lot of things right, but we generally have free water fountains and public bathrooms in most places. Aussie here, every public park I see has free toilets and drinking fountains here too. I'm baffled people are paying to take a shit. Bison are not to be petted. Stay far away from them. If it's a wild animal, don't try to pet it. If you don't know if the animal is poisonous or venomous, don't try to pet it. If it's an animal that stands out in its environment, definitely don't try to pet it. That's just common sense. Edit. Guys, stop fixing the poisonous to venomous. In Portuguese, my native language, the term veneno is poison and piss on her is venom. It was a false friends and I got confused. Also, both terms work, and get the point across. Some of us do know our geography. Damn right. What kind of idiot can't tell a square from a circle? Okay, Florida. People have brought up the open records laws, but there's another element. Florida is America's official second chance state. Imagine if your country had a region where all the fuck-ups from the rest of the country flocked to when they could no longer make a go of it in their hometown. That's Florida. A tropical climate, a relatively low cost of living, and a job market that's remarkably resilient is all very attractive to a meth head from Ohio who just got shit canned from Burger King. So they drive their 98 Explorer south until they see palm trees, get themselves a trailer outside Ocala, and boom, Florida man is born. Add in retirees who think that 20 miles per hour is an appropriate highway speed, Cubans who say they are getting their sugarcane plantations back any day now, and clueless tourists in rental cars wearing head-to-toe Disney shit. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present the state of Florida. A kid I grew up with is a two-time felon in both Texas and Georgia, and he has made his home in Florida. He fits right in. He even got arrested on his wedding night robbing coin boxes at a hotel laundromat, so they made his Florida man status official. I also legit suspect this guy as a serial killer. When threatened, Americans will deploy a colorful neck shroud in a show of dominance and can spit venom up to 15 feet. Especially the people from West California. We are not our government. This country is big. People in this country get culture shock from moving within the same state and through different regions. This is, personally, why I find most generalizations of Americans funny. Also, stop asking people who say they are from Nick how many times they go to California. And vice versa. It's far and expensive lol. Every time I'm in Europe someone asks me this question. For context, I drove from the bottom of Texas to the upper side of TX for 10 hours straight. That a lot of us, most of us, in a lot of cases, do not support everything our government has ever done. I did not get a vote on the Iraq War. Please stop acting as if every single one of us is to blame for it. For real, I was 14 when that war started. I couldn't even vote. Deleted. Well, thank you. We love our northern neighbors except for one unforgivable thing, your geese. Please take them back. They are absolute maniacs. Americanized versions of food are still good and we still enjoy them. You don't have to tell us this isn't authentic country food. We know it isn't. Just because it's not exactly like the origin country's version doesn't make it bad. Food that immigrants bring and modify also have a rich history. Chop suey, tacos el pastor, and doner kebabs as examples. Fried chicken is exploding in Asia and you're already seeing Korean fried chicken make its way to the West. We aren't all just like you see on TV or YouTube. I'm an Aussie that plays a military simulation computer game often, and my favorite server is an American server in particular. It's my favorite server because of the decent people that are there. Sure, there's the occasional racist or asshole, but compared to Aussie servers for this game, the American server is just a better server. Take this compliment, America. Can't speak on other topics, but on this example, I thoroughly enjoy chilling with you lot. There are some really funny, unique and kind players around. It makes the gaming experience wholesome, win or lose. In Australia in this game, it's all about seeing how fast you can win the match, or Legos. Often by players who can't back them up with decent kill-death ratios. Respect fam. We only have a few hundred years of recorded history, so yeah, we talk about our civil war, etc. because we haven't had 10 civil wars and thousands of battles and centuries of political suppression. Also, since we are so new, we do talk about our European Asian African heritage. I'm pretty sure Europe has had wars going on for longer than the US has been around, cumulatively speaking. Hell, France and England were at war for 120 years. I don't want to be car dependent. I have to be. If I could bike everywhere in a reasonable amount of time, I probably would. But biking to my work takes an hour because our cities sprawl so much and our bike paths are not good and car traffic usually is higher on priority lists than bikes, so our bike lanes are usually non-existent or minimal. And I live in one of the best cities areas to bike in, according to some lists online. I would commute by public transit if it didn't take 3 times as long, round trip. And that's on a lucky day. Boston, MAMBTA is tragic. We eat other things besides McDonald's and fast food. I like that you put an and between those two. In accordance with human tradition, we own the moon. Neil Armstrong. Dubs. Deleted. I moved to Norway. Learning is fucking hard as everyone switches to English as soon as I start with the broken Norwegian. I'm Native American, so to my fellow countrymen and across borders, I may get some limited government benefits. My tribe is more important in that factor. I don't get free college, I do get tribal scholarships. I don't get easy free healthcare, have access but it's in a format and location that makes it hard. I don't try to be unhealthy, but it's part genetics and part of my parents wanting me to not struggle. So didn't watch for perfectly healthy plates sometimes when young, it was getting me fed. Yes, I'm different than y'all, but I'm also a person who bleeds and cries some days. Edit. Thanks for the award. Edit 2. Correction to last edit now. Awards. Sing it, brother. I'm a member of a federally recognized tribe, something that requires proof of ancestry, not very easy, and I look as white as can be. I also work in Indian country and food security is a real thing. Those videos of Americans not knowing basic facts like who the first president was or when the Civil War was or where a certain country is are all complete bullshit. 99/100 people I know will get those answers right. Those videos either only use the dumb answers they get and cut the rest or pay people to act dumb. They cut the people that answer correctly because they aren't as entertaining. And this goes for some people in America as well. Florida man is only a thing because the state of Florida has really weird rules about how crimes are reported put into the public record. So stories out of Florida just make better tabloid headlines and clickbait if you're an editor scrolling through the AP feed looking for wacky stories. If the exact same incident happens in California and in Florida it would be reported as drunk Florida man rapes alligator at Wendy's drive-thru, while in California it would be California man arrested for public drunkenness and cruelty to animals. Florida has some insanely open records laws, so all the headlines you see there you don't see other places cause you don't have access to the records without requesting them. If you don't know it happened you can't request them. Had a friend get arrested there and had his mug shot and all the details about 20 minutes after he was booked.